Hey, how you doing? It's 𝐭𝐡𝐢𝐧𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐠 from the First Home Buyer Club. 100 lessons in 100 days, day 48, lesson 48. And today what I want to talk about is purchasing a pool. Is it the right decision for you and your family or not? So whilst I am talking to Paul, I thought I'd get into a character today with shorts and singlet just to go on. So firstly, I do need to tell everyone that I don't personally own a pool. So the numbers and the figures that I've found is what I've researched online through Google and other sources to get these numbers. And I'm only going to talk about today really the numbers side of buying a pool, the joys and excitement you get out of a pool. I'm not going to discuss today, nor am I going to try and talk about how cleaning it's going to be a hassle either. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about, which I discovered, was that 16% of all Brisbane households currently own a pool. So the first thing that comes to my head when I think of the math side of it is nearly 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 people own a pool. So theoretically, probably three houses either side of you and across the road, there's got to be at least 1 or 2 pools in there. Start becoming friends with these people and save yourself a lot of money. All right, the second thing I'm going to talk about today, well, mostly is what I'm going to talk about today. There's 3 areas I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on the cost of actually buying the pool itself. The second one is the running and ownership costs of having a pool. And the third one is the financial effects on your mortgage, so you can see how it looks short and long term. All right, the first point that I'm going to talk about is the cost of the pool. And now this is on average too. So if you come back a little bit less or a little bit more, obviously we'll just crunch the numbers on average. And what we've discovered when we ask around is a pool's going to cost you probably somewhere in the vicinity of $30,000. Now, for a lot of people, when you purchase the pool, you're not paying for it cash, especially if you're buying a property and then trying to get a pool in the first couple of years. So as a result, it's not only owning the pool itself, it's the interest repayments coming that you've got to pay back on top of the purchase of the pool itself. And here's what we've discovered, that if you buy a $30,000 pool, and we've just gone roughly at 7%, 7 years at 10%, it could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less, that over the term of that mortgage, or the term of that loan, I should say, that you're going to pay back approximately $42,000, right? So we're going to add these figures up. The second thing I want to talk about today is the running and ownership costs. So when obviously with everything, when you own something, there are other costs that are associated with owning anything: car, house, pool, you name it, horses, everything costs money on top. And so here's a few figures that I found. That the pump itself, the first part in it, is the power. The pump itself costs somewhere in the vicinity of $80 to $110 per month to pump water and do its pump thing. And over the term of a mortgage could be as much as $1,200. The second thing we've noticed is that heating of the pool is quite expensive. Now, solar heating is the cheapest out of all of them, and that costs around $100 to $200 over the year. The thing you need to be mindful of is it might cost you another $5,000 to purchase the solar system, which you're not going to start making that money back for years to come, right? And so then on top of that, that $100 to $200 a year may cost you another $5,000 to pay it off. The second thing we want to talk about is obviously electric. Now, electric, there's a bigger scale, and it's the same with gas, anywhere from $250 to $750. Now, what I imagine is that ranges as the pool gets older. It costs more, like anything: a car, a house, a boat, a jet ski, a motorbike. The older things get, the more it costs to repair and service it. You need to be aware of these things, especially when you buy something that's going to, over time, cost more. And the last one is gas. Now, gas is the most expensive out of all 3, and that will cost anywhere between $500 to $1,500 per year. So, once you start crunching these, it's a fair bit, right? Now, here's the other thing we noticed. That when you have a pool, that a pool loses approximately 160 litres a day. Now calculate that, 160 litres by 365 days. It's just shy of 60,000 litres per year. Now, that's the one part mathematically I didn't work out because, everywhere the cost of water slightly differs from the first tier to the second tier. But I would imagine 60,000 litres is going to cost you a couple of bucks, right? And so, like, that's another cost on top. And then the two others that we notice is the chemicals that you need to pay for to put into the pool to make sure it's fine. And also the cleaning. So professional cleaning is going to cost somewhere in the vicinity of $100 per time that you come out. Depending how frequently you use it, you might do it anywhere from 3, maybe up to 10 times over the year. It's another number that's starting to crunch up. Now, when you add up the running costs just per year, it works out at roughly around $2,500, right? So it's quite a bit. Obviously, your $42,000 to pay for the pool plus the interest. Then 7 years at $2,500, which is what's somewhere in the vicinity of $17,500. And quite quickly, you're starting to add up. And over that term of the 7 years, and we're just calculating over the 7 years, you're going to be looking at approximately $59,000 and a bit over that 7 years to buy the pool, pay for the interest on the pool, and then the running costs of the pool itself over that 7 years. Now, when I crunch some numbers and put it into a mortgage calculator, and I worked the figures out of $450,000 at 3.5% over 30 years, and what I discovered was that, and it's just very simple, so it's not including like offset accounts and extra payments too much, but that $59,000 is going to save you somewhere in the vicinity of $62,000 in interest repayments. So now it's not a $59,000 or $62,000. The difference between the two could be as much as $121 and something. Let's just keep it even and say $122,000 over 7 years as a cost difference. Now everyone goes, but I haven't physically given $122,000. So how does this work? We think about this. If we meet at ground level, family A buys a pool and it costs them nearly $60,000. So if you think about an elevator, they're going down to level 60. Now, family B that didn't buy the pool but use those same repayments to put it into the mortgage to help them pay it off faster, now they've gone up to 59 because they paid it off, right? And as a result of that extra $59,000 in their mortgage, then saves them somewhere in $62,000 in interest repayments, which then when you add them up, the cost difference between family A and family B could be as much as $122,000. Now, that's a massive difference when you start to equate these things side by side. Now, personally, I love swimming in pools. I just don't want to pay for them, right? So my fiance and I, we always go over to her parents' house and use their pool because they have to clean it and they have to pay for it. And it's simple for us. We can just drive over there, use it, and then drive home. Occasionally we'll buy them lunch, but not too often, right? And now I think to myself, surely you can find someone on your street that you can become friends with. And even if you're buying them lunch for the kids every time that you go over, you could be saving yourself quite a bit of money, right? Now, the other thing you really need to ask yourself is, are you going to be always using that pool? And it's kind of like I think back to before I joined the Army. I lived on a coastal town and I was literally about 5 to 10 minutes from the beach, and rarely went to the beach because it was right there. And then every time I'd come home at Christmas after a full year over in Townsville, I'd say to myself, every day I'm going to go to the beach. 3 days in, I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered going to the beach anymore. And then that's it for the 2-3 weeks I'm home. Get back to Townsville and then wish I had have gone. So just be aware that you may not use it every day. And while it's a luxury and it's nice, it's going to cost you big money, right? Now, what I'm going to do is everything that I found today, I'm going to put in a report. I've finished it, actually. It's right here. And I'm going to put in the comments so you can download it and read through it yourself because there are a lot of numbers today. But I just want to talk about one more thing in regards to this pool, and while we're on the mortgage part and paying it off faster, is that potential $59,000 will equate to somewhere in the vicinity of $163 a week, 163, 168. It's in here, right? It's in here, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, if you were to contribute that into your mortgage each week and just stay disciplined and focused on paying off the home faster than what you really want, that could knock off as much as 10 years and 9 months off your mortgage. Nothing else, just the pool commitment towards the mortgage instead of the actual pool running it. Which means then instead of a 30-year mortgage, you could be paying it off in 19 years and 3 months without doing anything differently, like nothing at all. So I guess the question you got to ask yourself, is that pool worth another 10 years and 9 months on your mortgage? Or would you like to pay it off faster and be mortgage-free quicker and enjoy life and live it on your terms? All right, guys, I hope you got a bit out of today. Hopefully you've got a neighbor that's got a pool and save a bit of cash and just be friends with them. All right, see ya. Bye.